Hey, in this video I'm going to give you a quick tour of your WordPress admin area, and I'm basically going to go through each little item as quickly as I can just to kind of give you an overview of the things you can do there. And I'm also going to show you how you can quickly launch your website so that you have a nice new design pretty fast. So here's what you need to do. So first of all, we're going to start off. This is the dashboard. This is basically anytime you log in, you kind of just see some notification information, stuff like that. If you do have some updates, you'll see an update notification right here as well. So posts are different than pages. So posts are for blogs, and you can basically start your own blog page. We've gone ahead and we've created a blog archive page for you, and we've called it blog. And so there is also a default home page that's already created as well. And so all you need to do now if you want to create some blogs is you just go in and you just start creating different blog pages, and you just do that by clicking new here. The media area is where you can go and you can upload images, PDF files, sound files, different types of files like that you're going to use throughout your website. So the pages area is where you're going to create your pages. These are the individual pages like the home page, the About Us page, the Contact Us page, anything like that you want to create with some information on it. Those are the public pages that you're going to create. Comments, if you have enabled comments on your website so people can comment on posts and stuff like that, usually we recommend you don't enable that because most of the time you just get spam anyway. But if you do have comments coming in, this is where you would read them. Portfolio is where you can create portfolios of images and things like that. If you're doing like a photography website or something to that nature and you want to create a whole bunch of portfolios, this is a great way to do it. Themify Ultra, so we basically on our websites we install Themify Ultra, which is a premium theme. Because you are a client of ours and we have a developer's license, we can install this on your website for you. So this actually would cost you money, but we're able to install it because we buy a developer's license, and so we're able to install it for you. Now, in a minute I'm going to get back to this and I'm going to show you some really cool things about Themify Ultra theme. So give me just a minute, we'll get right back to that. Appearance, this is where you can go and you can choose different themes. You can do some customizing. This is where you can really get in and customize your website. What it would do is it'll open up a side screen, and then it gives you the options to change all kinds of different colors, and you can upload your logo. And matter of fact, let's show you a few of those things really quickly. So let's go to customize. So I'm just here in appearance. You can also get there from the Themify Ultra thing, and you can go customize there as well. It's the same thing. And you can see it takes a second to load, and it's going to load just our demo website right here. Now if we wanted to change our logo, we would do that by going to site logo and tagline, and you can see it opens up this little area right here, and I can just open that up some more, and I can choose that I want to have a logo image, and then all I need to do is I click this, and then I can select an image by clicking this I would select an image off my computer, and I would install it here, and that's how you do a logo. Now the best logo to create is one that's small enough. You want to make sure it's not too big. You want to make sure it's basic. Well, the best ones to have, it should be 2 to 3 times the width should be 2 to 3 times the height. So you want it to kind of be long and narrow so that it's not tall and taking up a huge lot of space on the header. So when they're tall, they end up creating a whole bunch of extra white space over here. Also, you want to have a PNG file, our best, with a transparent background. That way you don't have a white box around it, and you can color your header and you can change things like that. So from this area you can do all kinds of things. You can go in and you can set your body background colors, you can set up accent colors, you can set up your headings, your header. So this is the header up here. You can change the color, the font. To change the link or the menu, you would go in and do this, and this is where you'd go in and you choose the menu link and colors and all that. Makes it really easy. You just go in here and you just say I want the font to be this, and you go down here and you choose what color you want the text to be. So you can see it has a whole lot of other options here. Let's go back now and show you some other things here, and it just wants to make sure that I'm sure I want to leave. Okay, so appearance is where you do that. So widgets are little boxes that you can place on your website. So if you wanted to have a sidebar on your website, that would be a widget, and that would go inside of a little widget area. Let me just show you that really quickly. So by default, the sidebar is set up with some information in it, but you can also set up some header widgets, some footer widgets, and there's also a social widget where you can put your social icons in. And so this makes it pretty easy to basically put blocks on your website that have content in them, and so you just feel free to kind of fiddle with them a little bit. So there are by default there's 3 header widgets set up, but you can choose to have other ones, and I'm going to get into that here in just a minute. So we also can set up the menu. Now this is really important. Let me show you the menu area. So the thing you want to do is you want to create a main menu, and you basically can just type in main menu here, and then click create menu. And then from here you can just add menu items over here, and you can organize them however you want. So right now I only have the home page created, but you can also, let's say we want to do a post, and so we've got a post right here, and so we can add that to the main menu as well, and we can organize them just by simply grabbing them and moving them around. And say I wanted to actually have it to where people hovered over the home menu, home button, and it opened up with a drop down for the Hello World post, then that's how you do that. And you'd basically just click on it and drag it slightly to the right, and it puts it underneath that. You can remove these by just hitting remove like that. Pretty simple to navigate through here. If you wanted to add a custom link, so one that's not a page, one that's not a post, but say you wanted to link to somewhere like Google or something like that for some reason, and you want to call it Google here, then it's pretty easy just to click that and add that here. Makes it nice. You can also come in here and you can add an icon to this this menu item, so you can pick through the icons and stuff like that. Now the stuff that I'm showing you really only applies with the Themify theme enabled, so not every theme is going to have all these features. So let's go ahead and we'll move on, and we'll go into, don't worry too much about the editor. Plugins are a great place for you to go to be able to customize your website and to be able to add all kinds of really great features. I think last time I checked, WordPress had almost 40,000 plugins available. And right here, these are plugins that we have on the website already. And then to add new, you go here, and this opens up the WordPress repository of all the plugins that are available. Now, a couple of things you want to look out for when you are installing a plugin is you want to see how many active installs it has, because if it only has a few, it means it hasn't been thoroughly tested by everyone else. And you want to make sure it's about 10,000 or more to make sure it's been tested really good. You also want to see that it has a fairly good review on it, and also you want to see that it's up to date and compatible with your version. But you can search here for different things that you're looking for. So if you have the idea that you want a calendar or a calculator or a weather plugin or something like that, you just type it up right here and you search for it, and it'll come up and you choose which one you want. What you do is, if I wanted to install this one, I would click install. Once it's installed, then I would click activate, and that's all there is to it. Sometimes plugins require you to put them on a page. So for example, if I wanted to install a weather app, I would probably have to go into the settings, and it would usually pop up somewhere over here, the settings for it. And it can also be under settings, or it could be under tools, or it could show up anywhere in this menu. And usually it'll give you some instructions how to put it on the page, and oftentimes it'll have just a little short code, which will be a bracket. Let me just show you right here. I'll type it in, but it'll have like a bracket like that, and then it'll close it with the other bracket. So it might have something like, let me just put short code in, and that's what they call it, is a short code. And you would basically take that and you'd put it into your page wherever you want that object to appear. So a lot of times these plugins will do that. They'll have like if you're doing a calculator or a weather app or something like that, then they're going to give you a short code and say, here's where you can put it into your website. You just you do the settings, and then you go in and get the short code and paste that in. So that's how you do that. Users is if you want to basically add other users to your account. So you have somebody who you want to type up articles or something like that, you can create user accounts for them. Tools mostly is for importing and exporting, and sometimes other plugins will put themselves into the tools here. Settings, I'm going to go through and I'm already going to set up a lot of the settings that you really need to worry about, but you are welcome to go in here. There are some general settings in here that you can look at. You can put in a tagline, you can put in your site title and things like that, but basically when you get this, it's pretty much going to be set up and ready to go. And then most of this other stuff should already be set up, and so now let me give you just a quick little run through of, well, let's go to Themify first. So Themify settings, so we're going to go to the Themify settings and I'm going to show you how you can have a quick site set up that you just basically can go in and make some modifications to it and it's ready to roll. One way to do that is to go into skins and demos. You can go through and you can look at these different skins that they already have available. If you like the way it looks and you just want to basically take this and change the information in it, then you can just do that. It's pretty simple to do. Let's look at this one right here. I can click it right here to view it. This is what it would look like, and obviously it's not going to have my content on it, but it'll have just some demo content here. So once you look at this and you decide that's what you want, then you can go back to your website and you can click import, and that will import that particular skin and the content of that skin and those files into your website. And then you just need to go through and just change the content that's in there, change the colors and things like that. You do that like I showed you over here with customize. You go through and change the colors, and boom, you basically have a nice little site pretty easily set up. Now there is some great other options to customize it here, and there's a whole bunch of settings that this plugin or this theme has. So the great thing about this theme is it does have a lot of plugins. The bad thing about, or I'm sorry, it has a lot of settings. The bad thing about it is it also has a lot of settings. It's also a problem, but because there's so many settings, it does allow you to customize it, and but because there's a lot of settings, there's a lot of things to go through. But if you just kind of take one by one, within a few hours, you can really have your site tweaked the way you want it. So you just basically click on settings and just go through each one of these. Some of them aren't that important to go through. Mostly default layout and theme settings is the ones you want to focus on. So theme settings allows you to go in and you can actually pick out colors, but the best way to pick out and customize a color is really to go to the customize area like I showed you. But here's where you can pick out header designs, so you can choose what type of header you want to have. You can disable the sticky header. You can do all kinds of great things. I usually recommend excluding the RSS link and excluding the search form. That comes standard. Here's where you can set up the footer widget areas. Remember we talked about widgets just a few minutes ago. Here's the area where you can choose, do I want 2, or do I want just one big widget down there, or do I want 4 down there? Also the same with the header. Oops, it was right here. Here's the header. This is the header one, and this one's the footer one. And basically, that's just go through each one of these settings and, fill in what you need and check the boxes that you want to check, and you should be up and running pretty quick. Now, you do want to go into pages, and I'm going to show you really quickly how to use the page builder. So you basically will click on the page that you want to edit. And up here is the WYSIWYG editor, and this is not the best place to edit. So what you'll want to do first is you'll want to remove this text here and then just update by clicking on this update button. And then you'll come down here, and over here is the Themify page builder. So it gives you all these options right here. I'm not going to go through these 3 right here, but we're going to go right to Themify builder. So the Themify builder, what it does is it splits your website up into rows and columns. So we've got one row right here, and as soon as we put something in it, it's going to give us another empty one right below it. Now we can split this row up into individual columns by coming over here, hovering over it, and choosing the column that we want, or the column options that we want. So if we wanted to have, maybe we want to have one big one and one smaller one, we can do that. Once we choose that, you can see it's placed these little dotted lines here for us, and it gives us some more options, and it gives us the option to remove the gutter, or to do a narrower gutter, or to do a default gutter size, and that's the space in between. We can also adjust these things by just hovering over, and you can see how the arrows appear, and then we just move them like so, and you can see we can kind of just bump them around the way we want them. You can also come up here and you can add background images. Now, if you've chosen to pre-install a web design, like I showed you a minute ago, where you could pre-install and import all that content into it, then you would be able to come in here and change those elements now. And the way you put like images and stuff like that on this page, say we wanted to have an image here and we wanted to have text over here, all I have to do is either just hover over here and you can see all these options pop up over here, or I can click on this and they pop up right here. And so say I wanted to put text right there, then I would just click on that and drag that into there, and then there's the text that I can add. And then say I save that and I want to put an image in here, then all I do is I click on this and I choose image and I drag that in here. I then go and get an image, put it in here and hit save, and then that will put the image in right here. I then need to click save again to actually save it to the page. I can either save here or I can update the whole page right here. Now, clicking save here only saves the settings inside this box. Sorry, let me click that so that goes away. Every time I hover over this, that side thing will pop up. So anything inside this gray box is saved by clicking on this. Anything outside is not saved. So if you make any changes on any one of these other tabs, or you make some changes up here or anywhere else on the page, it's not saved using this. That only saves everything inside this box. If you click update, that will update everything on the page. So feel free to just play around. If you mess up a page, not a big deal. Just start a new one. It's pretty easy just to kind of go through and just play with it. Maybe create a few pages that you're just going to play around with. You don't have to put them on the website so that everyone can see them. You don't have to put them in the menu so that people can get to them. And then you just basically just play around and create your website. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it's been beneficial for you. If it has, great. If not, shoot us over a comment or a question, and have a great day. Thanks.